Hello and welcome to Exotic Foods for Exotic People. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make a quick and easy cabbage soup. The ingredients you'll need for this cabbage soup are as follows. You'll need an onion, some thyme, garlic, and parsley. You can also add scallions if you'd like. You'll also need one cabbage and some spinach. Additional items include carrots and potatoes. You'll also need one pot to cook everything in, as well as a tiny bit of oil. To start off, get your onion, thyme, garlic, and scallions, as well as your parsley, and prepare them for the pot. You can use one whole onion and chop it up into slices. You can take half a clove of garlic and chop it up into small bits. Get some parsley and just set it aside. The parsley can be fresh or dried. I'm going to be using both. You'll need a good amount of parsley. The more parsley you use, the more parsley you'll have, the more parsley taste you'll have in your soup. After preparing these ingredients, you'll want to get a pot out. Coat the pot with some sort of oil. In this case, I'm going to be using olive oil. Coat it with oil and just let it heat up for a bit, and then throw in your onions, garlic, thyme, scallions, and parsley. When throwing in the ingredients, you'll want to throw in the parsley last so it can brown a little without burning. It is okay if the onions get a little overcooked or if they start burning a little. The taste won't appear in the soup as long as they don't burn too much. After everything else is pretty well cooked and well heated up, you can throw in your parsley, and then after a little while of the parsley browning, you can throw in your water and just let the soup boil for a bit. This will be your soup base. While the base is bubbling, you can go and get your carrots out, as well as your potatoes. Chop and peel your carrots and then just throw them into the pot. You'll need to put the carrots and the potatoes in first so they can cook and get soft before you throw in the rest of the ingredients. So chop up your carrots, chop up your potatoes, and put them into the soup. Let these boil for a bit. While this is boiling, you can now turn to your cabbage and your spinach. Take the cabbage and chop it up. Just chop it up into some slices. They should be thin enough to where if you were going to eat them, they wouldn't obstruct your eating. So chop them up thin and make sure they're well separated. After this is done, you can put them into a separate pot and set them aside. Now turn to your spinach. If you're using packaged spinach, you can just take this out and put it into a pan or a container to prepare. Spinach tends to have some stems attached to the leaves, so unless you want to eat the stems, you should pluck them off or cut them off. Whichever way is fine, just make sure they're off of the spinach leaf. After you're done doing this, you can also take this prepared spinach and put it in the same pot with your cabbage. Once these two items are in the same pot, you can then clean them. I would suggest cleaning these items out with some vinegar and some salt if you have it on hand. Vinegar should be good to rinse out the leaves and the cabbage with, but if you want to go the extra distance, you can use some salt. The important thing is that you rinse this out and you make sure it's not in the cabbage and the spinach when you go to put it in your soup. So put the vinegar into the pot and just rinse it out. After this is done and the potatoes and carrots in your soup are soft enough, you can now take your cabbage and your spinach and put them into the pot. Don't be alarmed if it doesn't fit all at once at first. Since the leaves are very thick when uncooked, you're going to have to sort of push it into the water and let them cook with time. The leaves will touch the hot water and begin to shrivel up and cook. As this happens, you'll notice that they get smaller and they begin to fit in the pot. So don't worry if they don't all fit in the pot at first. Just make sure they don't fall out of the pot. After about 30 or so minutes, they should be completely cooked. If not, then don't fret and just add more water and just let it cook. The soup is ready when it either dries down to your desired amount or when the cabbage and everything else in the soup is cooked. Once it is cooked, you can take it out and enjoy it. This kind of soup is perfect as a meal for lunch or dinner. It is very delicious, and since it's very hard to mess up, it is a nice soup for those beginning to learn how to cook soups. If you know what you're doing, it doesn't entail a whole lot of mess, and it is a very nice soup if you're having an upset stomach or if you're just feeling queasy and want something that won't push you over the edge. You can add salt as well as pepper to taste and have yourself a nice enjoyable meal this way. If you like this video, please like it. If you enjoy this content as well as the rest of the content I do on my channel, please subscribe. If you have something interesting to say about the soup or anything else I do, you can leave a comment below, and I'll be seeing you next week with more material.